The scream of tires still rattled inside my skull, a jagged reminder of the second I'd dragged the old man out of the crosswalk. His body had trembled against mine as the truck thundered by, missing us by inches. My pulse had been frantic, not from some sense of heroism, but from the sick truth that everything can vanish in a blink. That was yesterday. Today, Leah, my ex-wife, stood at my door. Her eyes carried something I couldn't pin down. Gratitude, maybe. Or something sharper, dangerous. "I heard what happened," she said, her voice soft, unsteady, like each word might break the silence beneath her feet. "Can I come in?" I hadn't laid eyes on her in 2 years, not since the divorce carved our lives into two bitter halves. Her auburn hair was shorter now, cut in a way that made her seem at once familiar and strange. The apartment smelled of old coffee and stale regrets, and her presence thickened the air. I stepped aside, stomach knotted with dread and a flicker of longing I didn't want to name. Why was she here? Everyone in the neighborhood knew about the old man by now. Local hero, they'd called me. But Leah had never cared for titles or sentiment. She wanted something. She perched on the edge of my couch, her fingers worrying at the strap of her purse. "You saved him, Ben," she said, glancing at me, then away. "That man, he's important to me." The words landed heavy. Important? How? The thought twisted in my gut. Was he more than a stranger to her? Was there something between them? My old doubts stirred, gnawing like they always had during the last months of our marriage. "Who is he?" My voice came out tighter than I meant. The refrigerator hummed in the background, its low drone swallowing the silence between us. She hesitated, lips parting, closing, like she was deciding how much of the truth to offer. "His name's Arthur," she said finally. "A friend. A mentor. He helped me through some dark places, after we split." Her eyes flicked to the floor. The unspoken words lingered, jagged as broken glass. I forced down the bitterness. A mentor, sure. But her trembling hands, the faint crack in her voice, they told me there was more beneath the surface. "Glad he's alive," I said evenly, though my chest burned. "But why are you here? You could have just called." Her gaze slipped away, and that small motion felt like betrayal all over again. "I needed to see you," she whispered. "To thank you. And to talk." Her hands gripped her purse strap so tightly her knuckles whitened. The room grew heavier, thick with what she wasn't saying. I leaned back against the kitchen counter, the cold bite of the edge grounding me. Talk about what? My pulse quickened. The memory of our last fight rushed back, her tears, my accusations, the way she'd walked out without a backward glance. I'd replayed that moment too many times, wondering if I'd trusted too little, doubted too much. Now, with her here, it felt like being tested all over again. She rose and crossed to the window, framed by the gray skyline. "Arthur's not just a friend," she said at last, her voice shaking. "He was my therapist, Ben. After everything, I was broken. He helped me rebuild." The words were raw, but they didn't soothe the ache in my chest. A therapist, not a lover. But still, something in her tone felt unfinished. "So you're here because I happened to save your therapist's life," I said, harsher than I'd meant. She flinched, her eyes shimmering. "No," she turned toward me, her face open, fragile. "I'm here because watching you save him made me realize how much I've lost. How much we lost." Her voice cracked, and for a moment I saw the Leah I'd fallen for, the one who once felt like home. But memory cut sharp, the unanswered calls, the distance, the quiet erosion that killed us. "What are you saying, Leah?" My words came low, rough. "You left. You didn't look back for 2 years. Now you show up because I pulled some guy out of traffic? What do you really want?" She stepped closer, her perfume drifting toward me, lavender laced with something sharper, like sorrow. "I don't know," she said. She leaned in, her voice fragile, almost breaking on the words. I saw your name in the news and it hit me all at once. I never stopped loving you, Ben. Even when I destroyed everything between us." Her confession slid under my skin like a knife. Love. She dared to summon it now, after years of silence, after leaving me bleeding in the dark. I wanted to believe her. God, a part of me wanted to collapse into those words and let them hold me. But the warning signs were there, bright and undeniable to me now. The hesitation when she said Arthur's name, the way her eyes slipped past mine as if afraid of what they'd reveal. My mind churned, pulling up fragments I had buried. The night she came home late, the excuses that sounded rehearsed, the way her phone calls always ended the second I walked in. All the times I told myself not to ask, not to push too hard. Was it all lies? Was she lying even now? How? I asked finally, my voice cold and precise, like striking flint. How did you ruin it? The question sat between us like a blade. The room tilted, air pressing heavy against my lungs, walls closing in as the inevitable truth inched closer. Her throat moved as she swallowed. Her hands trembled where they gripped each other. I wasn't honest with you, she whispered, voice nearly breaking. Not about Arthur. Not about a lot of things. My pulse hammered painfully, each beat echoing in my skull. I had known there was something. I had feared it. But hearing her speak it aloud was like feeling an old wound tear open again, deeper this time. What things? I demanded, stepping closer, my words sharp enough to cut. My chest heaved, each breath ragged, uneven. The apartment felt suffocating, the air thick and cruel. Her eyes glistened, her face pale as she forced the words out. Arthur wasn't just my therapist. Her voice cracked, tears sliding down her cheeks. We got too close. I didn't mean for it to happen, Ben. I was broken, and he was there. I never planned it, but her words collapsed under a sob. You slept with him, I said. Not a question. A sentence. Final. A judgment that needed no confirmation. The truth slammed into me, a blunt force that knocked the air from my chest. My hands clenched so tight my nails dug crescents into my palms. The betrayal wasn't new, not really. I had seen the shadows of it, felt the shape of it moving behind my back. But hearing it spoken aloud, naked, undeniable, was a new kind of torment. It wasn't what you think, she cried, reaching out. It wasn't love, Ben. It was a mistake. I stepped back, widening the space between us until it yawned like a chasm. I couldn't let her touch me. Not now. Not with those hands that had already betrayed me. I ended it. I swear I ended it. Her voice was desperate, pleading. When? My voice shook, anger and heartbreak burning together, impossible to separate. When did you end it? Before or after you walked away from me? Before or after you let me believe that I was the one who destroyed us? She broke, folding in on herself, her shoulders shaking as she sank down onto the couch. Her face disappeared into her hands, her voice no more than a shredded whisper. After. I ended it after. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you more. A hollow laugh ripped from me, bitter and jagged. Hurt me more, I repeated. As if that's even possible. The room wavered around me. Yesterday, the memory of an old man's grateful eyes had filled me with something like hope, like purpose. Now those eyes dissolved into Leia's face, streaked with tears. I had saved Arthur's life. Of all people, Arthur. And in saving him, I had unearthed the truth that shattered my own. The irony clawed at me, merciless, cruel. I had pulled a man back from death only to fall into my own kind of annihilation. Why now? My voice scraped raw, a thread of sound straining to hold itself together. Why tell me now? Her head lifted slowly, her eyes red, rimmed with grief. Because you deserve to know the truth, she said. Because I can't keep running from it anymore. Seeing you in the news, seeing what you did, it brought everything back. I realized I couldn't live with the lies. I still love you, Ben. I know I don't deserve to say it. I know I don't deserve you. But I had to try. Her words clung to the silence, fragile, reaching toward me like a lifeline I could not take. Love. Trust. These things we had once shared were nothing more than ashes now, scattered into the wind by her confession. I turned away from her, facing the window. The city outside blurred through the gray haze, indistinct, but heavy with its own indifference. My chest tightened, a crushing weight pressing against my ribs. Yesterday, I had saved a life. Today, I couldn't even save the remnants of us. Get out, I said. My voice was quiet, steady, belying the storm that raged inside. She made a sound, broken, torn from deep in her chest. A sob that trembled with regret. But I didn't turn. I didn't look at her again. The door clicked shut behind her. And the silence that remained was louder than any scream I had ever heard.